Good morning, everybody. Thank you for your entry so far in the Anglo-Saxon Crack the Code quiz. There's one entry that has just about got it right. There's only one letter out. So go back and have a look at your answers, everyone, and maybe some of you might need to resend them in. Now, Miss Pomfret sent me a message yesterday, and it was all about Quentin Blake, who's an author and an illustrator, and I'm sure that you've read some of his books before. He's created some pictures to do with rainbows, and I've got a few examples of them for you to have a look at. So that really inspired me because today's assembly was supposed to be about our new core value for the half term, which is resilience. And I thought that I could use some of what Quentin Blake's done to help me with my assembly because I wanted to make a picture just like Quentin Blake. And I thought to myself, what do I need to make a picture like this? And so I got all my things ready and I put them on my table, but my table was quite messy actually. Here's what my table looked like. So some things had to go because I think the first step of resilience is to make sure that you've got a nice clean area so there's no distractions at all so that you can get to work really quickly. So we had to clear some things away. Can you think about which things I needed and which things I didn't need? So my next step was to make my rainbow. So I got my watercolours out and I got my paintbrush and I thought I'm going to make the best rainbow ever. But do you know what, boys and girls? The first rainbow I made was not very good at all. In fact, I did a whole page of rainbows until I was happy with the one I wanted. And I think that that's really important to understand as well. Sometimes you're not going to get things right the first time. Here's a look at my rainbows. The first one I drew I thought was a little bit too thin. So I did a second one that was quite thicker and you can see the paints were a little darker as well. But then I chose a different brush. And I was really happy with that one and I thought that I could use something like that. So once I'd finished my rainbow, I had to think about what could I put underneath it. I thought about lots of things and I looked at Quentin Blake's pictures and I chose the one of someone reading a book underneath it and I thought that I would make it me. So I picked up my pencil and I drew a few pictures of things and again the first one wasn't the best. I started by drawing one a little bit like Quentin Blake's picture that he did under the rainbow. Then I drew a child underneath. Then I drew someone with their legs crossed, although I can't really see any legs in this one, so I didn't like that one. Then I chose this one, and that looks a little bit like Mr. Davies, although it looks as though Mr. Davies has eaten too many Easter eggs in that one, so I didn't choose that one. Then I drew another boy with a pile of books. And then I drew one that I thought was quite good, and I thought that I maybe could use something like that for my good copy. I got really frustrated when I was drawing the pictures because I just didn't get them right, and I had to actually stand up and go and take a break, and sometimes resilient learners do that when they're trying to get something really tricky. And it might be this week when Year 1 are learning about halves and quarters, or maybe when Year 6 are doing some work on pronouns, that you just have to take a break to step away from your work just so that you can refocus when you come back. And I had to do that with my pictures. So now that I'd chosen my picture, all that was left to do was to draw it underneath properly and then put some pen over the top to make it look just right. And there you have it, boys and girls. I was resilient and I managed to draw my picture. Maybe that's something that you might like to do sometime this week, because I know you've got lots of rainbows probably around your house. To add to those by maybe drawing something underneath or around them, just like Quentin Blake did. Okay, let's see who's ready to go. Any music today? I'm by myself really, so I'll do it in post again.